Indiana, with its vast cornfields, young sprouts swaying in the wind, towering wind turbines, the well-preserved nostalgia of this town, the haunting stories behind these buildings beckoned to us, and we answered the call. What we discovered here in Indiana and Ohio were tales that took our breath away and left us in awe and at times trembling in fear. These stories are a treasure trove of diversity and richness, too vast to be contained in a single video. Over the next few weeks, I will share with you 10 captivating stories of things that happened in the states of Indiana and Ohio. These stories are intriguing, and I can't wait to tell them. But be warned, some of these narratives are not for the faint of heart. Viewer discretion is advised. Embark on a thrilling journey with us as we explore the hidden gems of these two states. Get ready to be immersed in the breathtaking beauty of the landscapes, the heartwarming moments, the heartbreak of some stories, and the terror that had us on the edge of our seats. Welcome to Some Stories of Mine and to the series This Happened Here. I am LT Bartek. It has been a while since we strayed from home, and we found Indiana an absolute must to see and learn about. So we packed up snow and took the route through I-75 to 52 to 1 to 35, all the way to Muncie, Indiana, where we found the perfect campground, the International Area Modeling Center in Muncie, aka AMA camping. AMA means Academy of Model Aeronautics. If you are interested, the address is 5161 East Memorial Drive, Muncie, Indiana 47302. The campground is 1,000 acres of level land. According to its website, and I quote, it offers the hobby/sport of flying model and the Academy of Model Aeronautics through the dissemination of scientific, technical, and general information. End of quote. At the front of the property stands the National Model Aviation Museum and the Claude McCullough Education Facility. On the left of that is a small pond with a few geese and, of course, some wide open and very private RV and tent campgrounds. Our first impression of Indiana over the Memorial holiday was how peaceful it was here, with nothing but wide open spaces and beautifully manicured grass. This is a place to come to fly your model airplane and relax. We didn't have a model airplane, but that wasn't the reason we chose this site. It was just one of the nicer campgrounds we could find, and it was the closest to all the locations we planned to visit. The evenings were cool, the air was fresh, and we marveled that there were no bugs here except ants that minded their own business. Anyway, after getting the best sleep, we headed out to visit the Indiana State Sanatorium. Still on the way, we popped on the GoPro to capture footage of I-70, where I will share the story of the I-70 serial killer and his massacre along this route. Then we saw signs for the Wilbur Wright Museum, where his home still stands and where he created his airplane, and we drove there. We got that story and some awesome footage, which is one of the stories for the coming weeks. Driving through this tiny but not tiny town, you see there was not a lot of houses, but there were so many farmlands stretching for miles that it looked larger than it really was. We had to capture some of these turbines that we saw right smack in the middle of some of these cornfields. And of course, we had to stop in the towns to capture some of these beautiful sights and to look at the train yards. And then I decided, while looking at these things, that I wanted to start off these 10 episodes of stories with a bit more information about this beautiful state of Indiana and of where we stayed. So, welcome to Indiana. The capital of this state is Indianapolis. It has been nicknamed the Hoosier State. What does that mean, you ask? The story goes back to the day when if you approached a pioneer's cabin and knocked on their door, they would come back with, "Who's here?" Because of that constant response, the state became the Hoosier or Hoosier State. To this day, natives of Indiana are known as Hoosiers. I found that quite interesting. The Indiana motto is Crossroads of America because, as its motto claims, it sits at the crossroads of America. It borders Lake Michigan and the state of Michigan to the north, Ohio to the east, Kentucky to the south, and Illinois to the west, making it an integral part of the American Midwest. On December 11th, 1816, Indiana became a state when President James Madison signed the congressional resolution admitting Indiana into the Union as a 19th state. According to the Indiana Historical Society, its population was 6,785,528 in 2020. Indiana stretches over 36,420 square miles, or 94,326 square kilometers. Indiana is the birthplace of Orville and Wilbur Wright, the Jackson 5 with Michael Jackson, sliced bacon, Coca-Cola bottle, gas pump, Jiffy Pop, the rear view mirror, and the Indy 500, to name a few. Driving around the countryside of Indiana, where we were in Muncie, you will see why Indiana is so special. They not only have vast farmlands boasting corn and soybean, but also, as mentioned before, massive wind turbines. These turbines typically stand at least 262 feet tall, or 80 meters. Tubular steel towers support a hub with 3 attached blades and a nacelle that houses the shaft, gearbox, generator, and controls. Wind measurements are collected, which direct the turbine to rotate and face the strongest wind, and the angle or pitch of its blade is optimized to capture energy. A typical modern turbine will generate electricity when wind speeds reach 6 to 9 miles per hour, known as the cut-in speed. Turbines will shut down if the wind blows too hard, roughly 55 miles an hour, to prevent equipment damage. The wind turbines capture kinetic energy from the wind and generate electricity. Having a wind turbine on your property can pay you up to $8,000 a year for the lease. Indiana is a place where you can get away and be out in the open, but still away from everything. Surprisingly enough, we had 5G here for the most part, unlike some of the more popular places we have stayed in. The grass here caught our attention. It looked different from where we're from. It was spiky and almost devoid of weeds, and very beautiful. The air was fresh, but boy was it windy. We struggled to keep snow on the road, and the roads were not bad at all for the remote area we were in. Like all states, this one had many stories, and as I mentioned earlier, I have quite a few for you. They are interesting and scary, but all very true. Next week I want to start with, just to keep the order in which we came upon them, with the I-70 serial killer. This killer, believed to be from Indiana, was never caught. He started his reign of killings in the spring of 1992 at a Payless store, and it is believed he has killed 6 people in 5 different locations across Indiana along I-70. Investigations are still ongoing, but more on that next week. This video is just to let you know we are still here and working hard to get you stories. I cannot tell a lie, it was all fun. But there are so many stories to tell. I hope you're still around for them. If you're not yet subscribed, do so now and click the all button in the drop down menu so you don't miss any of these stories. And if you're subscribed but have not yet selected the all, do so now. Before I go, I want to say a big thank you to all my subscribers, both long time and new ones. Having you here means so much to me, and I hope to keep you entertained. Also, thanks to all who commented on my videos. I read them all and I'm so humbled by them. Thanks again. Well, that is it for now. Let me go ahead and write the narrative for the next story so I can bring that to you very soon. Remember to love yourself and others, and I'll catch up with you next time. Love you. Bye.